I'm holding my phone, and there's a text from my mom. It just came through. No context, no preamble, just a screenshot of a guest list. 53 names. And my heart's already racing because I know something's wrong. The text says, "Don't worry about anything for your party, honey. I took care of all of it. Just show up and smile. Everything's under control." But I never told her I wanted a party. I'm Sarah Chen, 32 years old. I work as a marketing director in Austin, Texas, and I've spent the last decade building my own life from the ground up. I own my apartment. I pay my own bills. I make my own decisions. Or at least, I thought I did. What I didn't know, what I had no idea was coming, was that my mother had already decided who I was supposed to be that night, and it wasn't me. If you want to know what happened next, and why a party designed in my name became the biggest betrayal of my life, keep listening. Let me rewind. You need to understand who my mother is first. Carol Chen isn't a bad person, not intentionally, but she's someone who has always believed that she knows what's best for everyone around her, especially her children. When I was a kid, she chose my friends. As a teenager, she picked my courses. In college, she suggested my major. And when I graduated and got my first job, she rewrote my resume. Not because she was malicious, she genuinely thought she was helping. My younger brother, Michael, he went along with it. He took the path mom laid out, and it made her happy. Law school, steady girlfriend, traditional milestones. He became what she wanted him to be, and in return, he got approval. Endless approval. But I couldn't do that. I don't know if it was stubbornness or instinct, but somewhere around age 22, I just stopped asking for permission. I told her I wasn't taking over my dad's accounting business like she'd planned. I told her I was moving to Austin instead of staying near home. I told her I didn't need her help with anything anymore. And here's the line I'll never forget, the one that still sits in my chest like a stone. She looked at me one Sunday at dinner, and she said, "You know, Sarah, you can pretend to be independent all you want, but you'll always need me. Everyone does. You'll see." I was 23. I'd just signed the lease on my first apartment. I felt so angry when she said that. Angry, and then just sad. Because I realized she wasn't trying to hurt me. She was terrified. Terrified that if I didn't need her, then she'd lost her purpose. So I built a life that proved I didn't need her. That was maybe petty, but it was honest. I got promoted to marketing coordinator, then specialist, then supervisor. By 32, I was a director. I managed a team of 8. I had clients, a portfolio, a reputation. I dated who I wanted, traveled where I wanted, and I didn't call home to ask permission. I called to say hello, but those calls got shorter, less frequent. Mom noticed. She mentioned it every time we spoke. "I never hear from you anymore. Your brother calls every week. It's like you've forgotten us." But here's the thing. I hadn't forgotten. I'd just finally become someone who could forget. And somehow, that felt like the only way I could breathe. Then came the text about the party. That was the first time she'd tried something new. Not asking, not suggesting, just deciding. The text came on a Tuesday. I was at work, in back-to-back meetings. When I finally sat down at 4 p.m. and saw it, I assumed it was a typo. A guest list for my party that I didn't plan. I called her immediately. "Mom, what is this?" "Oh, honey, I wanted to surprise you. Your birthday's coming up, and I thought it would be so nice if you had a real party, with people around you. You work so hard. You deserve a celebration." My birthday was 3 weeks away. I hadn't mentioned wanting a party. In fact, I'd specifically said I was planning a quiet dinner with 2 friends. "Mom, I don't want a big party. We already talked about this." "I know you said that, but I know you better than you know yourself. Every woman wants to feel special on her birthday. Let me do this for you, please. I've already sent the invitations." There was something in her voice. Not anger, not even pushback, just a kind of certainty, like she'd already made up her mind, and there was nothing I could do about it. I hung up and looked at the guest list again. 53 names. I recognized maybe 10 of them, my actual friends, and my brother, but the other 43? I had no idea who they were. Some of the names sounded familiar from Mom's book club, others I'd definitely never heard. I texted her back, "Mom, who are these people?" No response for an hour. Then, "People who care about you. Stop overthinking it and just enjoy." That didn't sit right with me, but I told myself I was being ungrateful. She was trying to do something nice. Even if it didn't make sense, even if the whole thing felt off, maybe I should just let her. That was my first mistake. The real guest list, the one I found out about, didn't arrive until Friday. I got a call from Jessica, one of my actual friends. "Hey, Sarah, I got this invitation to your birthday party, and I'm looking at the event details online, and something seems really weird." "What do you mean weird?" "The description. It says it's a welcome party for someone new to Austin, and at the bottom, it says that you're excited to introduce everyone to the newest member of your life." Sarah, what is this? My stomach dropped. I went straight to the event page. Jessica was right. The party wasn't a birthday party. It wasn't even for me. Not really. It was a welcome party for someone named Marcus Webb, someone I'd never met in my life. I called my mom again. This time I wasn't gentle. "What is this Marcus Webb party?" There was a pause. A long one. "Oh, that. Well, I didn't think you'd like it if I just told you." "Told me what exactly?" "Marcus is your cousin's new boyfriend. He just moved to Austin, and he doesn't know anyone." And I thought, you know, you're in Austin. You have a big big network. You're outgoing. I thought you could help him feel welcome. I felt something hot rise in my chest. So, you threw a party for him and told me it was for me. It's both. It's a party, and you'll be there. So in a way, it's for you. It's not for me. The description says it's to welcome him. It says I'm excited to introduce him. I'm not excited to introduce him. I don't know him. I'm not even sure I know the cousin who's dating him. Sarah, you're being so defensive. I was trying to help by lying to me, by using my birthday as cover to what exactly? What's the end game here? She got quiet. And then, in a voice that was very calm and very certain, she said, I was trying to get you to stop being so alone. That stopped me. You spend all your time working and barely talking to anyone. You push everyone away. And I thought, if I gave you a reason to show up, to be social, maybe you'd remember that you're supposed to connect with people, that you're supposed to have a family. And here's where it got twisted, because that's not actually what this was about. I knew it then, and I know it now. But the way she said it, the wounded tone, the implication that I was broken for wanting solitude, it made me doubt myself. Maybe I was being ungrateful. Maybe my mom was just trying to help, and I was too selfish to see it. So I backed down, not because her logic made sense, but because I was tired of being the difficult daughter, tired of the implication that my independence was actually just emptiness. Fine, I said. I'll go to the party. Thank you, honey. You'll see. You'll be so glad you did. But even as I agreed, something in me was screaming, because the lie didn't add up. Because this wasn't about introducing me to Marcus Webb. This was about something else. Then my brother called. Hey, Mom told me about the party mix-up. Are you mad at her? I'm not mad. I'm just confused. Well, she's really upset. She's been crying. She keeps saying you don't want her help with anything anymore, and that she just wanted to do something nice, and now you're being cold. I felt that familiar guilt creeping in. The guilt that says, you're the problem. You're too hard on people who love you. I'm not being cold, Mike. I just need to understand what's actually happening. What do you mean? It's a party. There's a guy, he's new to town. Mom's helping him meet people. It's actually kind of nice, if you think about it. Except it wasn't, because by Saturday morning, the whole family group chat had blown up. Mom had posted a message in the family thread. I'm so excited for Sarah's special birthday celebration tomorrow night. I know she's been so stressed and alone in Austin, and I really hope this helps her feel less isolated. We're all going to remind her that family matters. Not a thank you to her for the surprise. Not an invitation, a statement, a performance. And the responses came flooding in. Aunts saying how wonderful she was to do this. Cousins saying they couldn't wait to support me. And my brother's girlfriend wrote, so sweet that Carol is giving Sarah a chance to remember what real community feels like. Real community. Like I didn't already have one. Like my life, my choices, my carefully built independence was somehow the problem they all needed to fix. I texted Mike privately. Can you tell Mom to stop using the family chat to gaslight me? Sarah, you're being dramatic. She's just excited. That word, dramatic, it shut me down. Because if I pushed back anymore, I'd be the difficult one, the ungrateful one, the one who didn't appreciate her mother's sacrifice. By that afternoon, I was actually dreading the party, and that's when I made the decision that changed everything. I decided to go, but not to smile and accept the narrative my mother had built. I decided to go and figure out exactly what was happening. That's when I did what I should have done from the start. I checked my credit cards. I had 4 cards that I used regularly. 1 for work expenses, reimbursed. 1 for groceries and personal stuff. 1 for travel. And 1 older one that I mostly kept for emergencies. I pulled up the statements from the last month, and my blood went cold. There were charges I didn't recognize. Catering charges, venue rental, floral arrangements. All of them from the past 2 weeks. All of them using my oldest credit card. The one I didn't check very often because the balance was always low. Total, $40,047. I wasn't on any of the payment agreements. There were no emails confirming the charges. And based on the merchant names, these weren't being billed as Carol Chen or party planning. They were billed to me. That's when I realized my mother hadn't asked to throw me a party. She'd used my identity and my money to throw someone else a party. I pulled up the credit card agreement. It had my name on it, my SSN, my payment address. It was legally my debt. I called the credit card company. Hi. Yes, I have some unauthorized charges on my account. I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you walk me through which charges you're disputing? I went through each one. The catering company asked for my mother's name as the organizer. The florist had notes in the system. Ordered by Carol Chen. Card belongs to Sarah Chen, her daughter. The venue, a beautiful restaurant in downtown Austin, had a contract. Let me say that again. There was a contract. I asked the credit card company to pull the authorization on file. And here's where it got really dark. The signature on the catering authorization wasn't mine. It was my mother's. She'd forged my signature. Not dramatically. Not in some obvious way that anyone would catch. Just a quick version of my name that approximated my handwriting enough that a catering company wouldn't question it. I felt numb. I felt angry. But mostly, I felt a cold kind of clarity. Because this wasn't about a party anymore. This wasn't about Mom trying to help me feel less alone. This was theft. I didn't go to the party. Instead, I called my mom an hour before it was supposed to start. Sarah! Sarah, are you on your way? Everyone's already here. Mom, we need to talk right now. I'm coming to pick you up and we're going to go somewhere private. What? Sarah, no, we can't. The party's starting right now, Mom. 20 minutes later, she was sitting in my car in a parking lot by Zilker Park. She was dressed up, a nice cream-colored dress, her hair done, lipstick applied, all for this party that wasn't what she'd said it was. Before you say anything, she started, just know that I did this because I love you and stop. You used my credit card without my permission. You forged my signature on catering contracts. You charged nearly $5,000 to my account without asking. That's not love, that's identity theft. Her face went pale. Sarah, that's not, I was planning to pay you back as soon as the money came through. From where and when? Because I don't see any arrangement made for that. I was going to talk to your dad. He was supposed to help me with the down payment, and once that came through, I was going to pay you back every cent. There it was. The real story. The actual thing this was about. What down payment? And then she told me. My father, her ex-husband, had recently remarried. My mom had been in a relationship with someone for the past year. This relationship had been moving toward moving in together, which meant she needed money for a house or an apartment or something. She'd asked my father for help, and he'd said no. He'd said his new wife's children came first, and somewhere in that rejection, she'd decided that I was the way to solve her problem, not by asking me directly, not by being honest about what she needed, by lying, by using my name and my money, by throwing a party for a man I'd never met and pretending it was about me. So, Marcus Webb, I said, is actually a really nice man. He's been so kind to me, and I thought if I could host this party, help him settle in, your cousin would see that I was trying, and maybe that would help me repair some. She stopped herself. Repair what? The damage I did to everyone when I pushed you away. I was quiet for a long moment. Mom, I don't think that's actually what this is about. She looked away. You wanted to prove something. You wanted to show that you're still useful, that people still need you, because you've spent the last 10 years watching me build a life that doesn't require you in it, and you couldn't accept that. She started crying, and I felt terrible. I did. But I also knew I couldn't let that feeling stop me from doing what needed to happen next. I'm going to need you to contact every vendor and cancel every remaining obligation. I'm going to need you to refund every cent to my credit card. And I'm going to need you to never use my name or my financial information ever again. Sarah, please, that's not up for negotiation, Mom. I spent the next 3 days documenting everything. Screenshots of the credit card statements, the catering invoice with her forged signature, the florist receipt showing her as the contact, the venue contract, signed in my name, dated 2 weeks before I even knew about the party. I also went through our family emails, and I found something important. A chain between my mom and my brother that I hadn't seen. In those emails, my mom had asked Mike if it was okay if she borrowed some money from my credit card temporarily to help her with a personal situation. And he'd written back, "Mom, maybe just ask Sarah." And her response was, "She'll say no. She always says no. But if I handle it for her, she'll forgive me later. That's how she is. That's how I am. Like I'm a character she understood. Like my resistance to her was just stubbornness that she could overcome with enough manipulation. I sent all of this, every single document, every screenshot, every email, to my friend Rachel, who's a lawyer. Not family law, but financial law. Close enough. We sat down on a Wednesday night with wine and my laptop. This is bad, Rachel said, moving through the documents. This isn't just unauthorized use. This is identity theft. This is forgery. Depending on how the credit card company looks at it, you could press charges. Do I want to? I don't know. Do you? That was the question, wasn't it? Did I want to press charges against my mother? No, I said. But I need her to understand that I'm serious. I need her to understand that this isn't something she can apologize her way out of. Rachel nodded. Then you need to escalate this officially. Contact the credit card company, file a fraud report, and then send your mom a cease and desist letter. Make it formal. Make her understand that if she doesn't comply, you will involve law enforcement. That sounded so harsh, so final, but then I looked at that email again. If I handle it for her, she'll forgive me later. That's how she is. And I knew Rachel was right, because my mom didn't see this as a mistake. She saw it as a tactic, a calculated risk that would pay off because I would eventually forgive her. And maybe I would, but only if she actually admitted what she'd done and changed. But here's the thing about lies. They have a way of stacking. 3 days after my conversation with my mom in the parking lot, I got a call from the venue, the restaurant where the party was supposed to happen. "Hi, Ms. Chen. I'm calling because we have a situation. Your mother came back today to finalize the payment for tomorrow night's event, and, well, the contract shows that your credit card should be billed, but she's asking if we'll accept a personal check from her instead. And when I told her that the contract says the primary cardholder needs to authorize any changes to the payment method, she got very upset and said I was calling her a liar. I felt my stomach drop. Are you telling me the party still hasn't been canceled? No, it's still on the books for tomorrow night. We weren't sure if, after the birthday thing, we thought maybe the situation had changed, but your mother called back and said everything was proceeding as planned." I hung up and immediately texted my mom. "You need to cancel the party right now." No response. I called. No answer. I called my brother. "Mike, did Mom tell you the party is still happening?" "Yeah, she mentioned something about that. She said you guys worked it out." "We didn't work anything out. She committed identity theft, Mike, and now she's doubling down." "Okay, that's a really strong way to phrase it." "There's no soft way to phrase it, Mike. She forged my name on contracts and charged things to my credit card without permission. And instead of canceling and refunding, she's trying to find another way to pay for it while keeping my name attached." Silence on the other end. "Oh my God," Mike said quietly. "Yeah, does Dad know?" "Not yet." "Sarah, I think you need to tell him." So I did. I called my father. We weren't close, but we were civil, and I told him everything. The forged signatures, the unauthorized charges, the canceled promises to pay me back, and now her refusal to stop. My father, who is a quiet man and doesn't usually get angry, got very angry. He called my mom. I don't know what he said, but I heard about it an hour later from my brother. Apparently, my father told her that if she didn't immediately cancel the party and refund every cent, he would contact a lawyer and make sure she faced consequences. But it was the reason he gave that really cut through. "You're not trying to help Sarah," he apparently said. "You're trying to trap her. You're trying to prove that she still needs you by making her feel guilty. And that's abuse." I don't know if my mom heard him, but I heard him through my brother. And it was the first time anyone in my family had named it like that. It was abuse. The party got canceled the next morning. The venue issued refunds. My mom signed a form authorizing the credit card company to reverse the charges. And she wrote me an email, not a phone call, but a carefully written email, saying that she was going to get therapy and that she was sorry. But here's what she didn't do. She didn't stop trying to control the narrative. She sent a message to the family group chat saying, "I want to apologize to Sarah for planning a party she didn't want. I was trying to help, but I see now that I overstepped." Just like that. Overstepped. Not forged, not stole. Overstepped. So I did something I'd never done before. I responded to the group chat. I publicly corrected her. I wrote, "I appreciate the apology, but I want to be clear about what happened for everyone in this group. Mom used my credit card without my permission, forged my signature on contracts, and charged nearly $5,000 to my account. When asked to stop, she refused. I don't need an apology that softens this into overstepping. I need a commitment that this behavior stops forever. And I need that commitment in writing." My brother was the first to reply. He just wrote, "I'm sorry. I should have pushed back harder when I first knew something was off. My aunts were quiet, my cousins didn't comment, and my mom, 2 hours later, sent a new email, not to the group chat, to me personally. It said, 'You're right. I'm sorry for what I did. I committed identity theft and financial fraud. I'm going to work with a therapist and a financial advisor to make sure I never do anything like this again. And I'm going to respect your boundaries about how we communicate going forward.' It was short, it was precise, and it actually acknowledged what had happened instead of trying to minimize it. We didn't speak for 3 months after that. Then, one Sunday, she called. She asked if I wanted to have lunch. Not a party, not a surprise, just lunch. We met at a coffee shop in Austin that was neutral territory, somewhere that wasn't her house or mine, and she talked. She told me that she'd been in therapy, and her therapist had helped her understand that she'd been trying to control me because her own life felt out of control. That when my father left, when my brother moved toward his own path, when I became independent, she'd panicked. And instead of processing that panic in a healthy way, she'd tried to make herself necessary. "I thought if I could prove that you still needed me," she said, "then I could prove that I still mattered." I didn't forgive her immediately, but I heard her, and I believed that she was trying. It's been 6 months now. We talk once a week, usually on Sunday mornings. The conversations are shorter and less intense than they used to be. We have boundaries, and I don't resent the boundaries anymore. I'm actually relieved by them. My mom did something radical. She asked me what my boundaries needed to be, and then she respected them. She doesn't show up unannounced. She doesn't involve herself in my financial decisions. She asks before she makes plans with me, and something surprising happened. We started to actually like each other. Not the version of each other we'd been forcing all these years, but the actual real people. Me, with my need for independence and my solitude. Her, with her longing for connection and her fear of irrelevance. Both of those things are true, and both of them can exist without one person having to destroy the other. The credit card fraud was resolved. The charges were reversed. And I learned something crucial. The people who love you most can also be the ones who hurt you deepest. Not because they're evil, but because they think they know you better than you know yourself. The truth is, independence isn't cold. It's not cruel. It's not a rejection of the people who raised you. It's just a refusal to let your survival depend on someone else's approval. And if the people who love you can't handle that, then you get to decide what kind of relationship you're willing to have with them. I kept my apartment, I kept my job, I kept my life exactly as it was, and I added one more thing. A relationship with my mother that's based on honesty instead of obligation. Not everyone gets a happy ending with their family, but sometimes, if you're brave enough to name what's actually happening instead of accepting the softened version, sometimes people surprise you. My mom surprised me, not with a party, but with the willingness to change. If you've been through something like this, where someone you love used their love as a weapon, I want to hear about it. Tell me in the comments. How did you set your boundaries? What did it cost you? Was it worth it? Because the truth is, we need to talk about this stuff more. About the ways that family love can become family control. About the courage it takes to say no to your own mother. Thanks for listening.